Good day everyone, I'm Floremy B. Jumabok. So for today, I will continue a brief summary of the first voyage around the world by Magellan by Antonio Pigafetta. So on April 26, Zola, a principal man from island of Matan or Mactan, went to see Magellan and asked him for a boat full of men so that he would be able to fight the chief named si Lapu-Lapu or Lapu-Lapu. Such chief, according to Zola, refused to obey the king and was also preventing him from doing so. Magellan offered 3 boats instead and expressed his desire to go to Mactan to fight the said chief. Magellan's force arrived in Mactan in daylight. They numbered 49 in total and the islanders of Mactan were estimated to number 1,500. The battle began. So, Magellan divided his followers into 2 bands. The Musketeers and the Crossbowmen can attack. But the firing was not effective. The native army moved down upon them like a cloud, throwing javelins and spears. Some of them singled out Magellan. They threw at him lances pointed with iron. Magellan, seeing the odds were against him such a contest, so to break their lines, they firing their houses. Some 30 houses burst into flame. The sight of the fire mandered and natives and rendered they are furious. So Magellan died in that battle. The natives, perceiving that the bodies and the enemies were protected with armor, aimed to their legs instead. So Magellan was pierced in a poisoned arrow in his right leg. A few of their men charged at the natives and tried to intimidate them by burning an entire village, but this only enraged. So the natives further. Magellan was specifically targeted because the natives knew that he was the captain general. So saying that the captain has already deteriorated, more natives come and attack him. One native with a great sword delivered a blow in Magellan's left leg, brought him face down, and the natives continue to attack Magellan with lance, sword, and even with their bare hands. So Magellan thought now was not for himself, but for the safety of his men. Stunned at his own post-fighting, that they might make safe the retreat. He thus broke the assault for nearly an hour until he was almost left alone. A native suddenly rushed down toward him having a cane lance. He thrust this into his face, so Magellan wounded the native and attempted to draw his sword. But he has received a javelin's wound in his arm and his strength failed. Seeing him falter, the native rushed him down to the earth with a rude sword. He tried to raise up to see if his men were safe or he did not call for assistance, but the last sought to secure the safety of his men. In fact, he never seemed to so much as think of himself in the whole contest. It was thus that his life won out and this heart caused to beat. So, Pigafetta also said that the king of Cebu, who was baptized, could have sent help, but Magellan instructed him not to join the battle and stay in the barangay so that he would see how they fight. So, the king offered the people of Mactan gifts of any value and amount in exchange of Magellan's body, but the chief refused. So, they wanted to keep Magellan's body as a memento of their victory. So, the natives refused to surrender his body. 8 of his own men and 4 native allies who had become Christians perished with him. So, there was no ended with so that the admiral had forgotten himself at the hour of the final conflict. So, Magellan's men elected Duarte Barbosa as a new captain. So, Pigafetta also told how Magellan's slave and interpreter named Henry betrayed him and told the king of Cebu that they intended to leave as quickly as possible. So, Pigafetta claimed that the slave told the king could acquire the ships and the goods of Magellan's fleet. So the two conspired and betrayed that was left of Magellan's men. The king invited these men to a gathering where he said he would present the jewels that he would send for the king of Spain. So Pigafetta was not able to join the 24 men who attended because he was nursing his battle wounds. It was only a short time when they heard cries and lamentations. The natives had slain all of the men except the interpreter and the Juan Serrano, who was already wounded. So Serrano was presented and shouted at the men in the ship asking them to pay ransom. So he would be spared and the fleet decorated and abandoned Serrano. They left in Cebu and continued their journey around the world. So that's all. Thank you and God bless.